Okay, y'all. So it's really wild to take a look at all of the news articles and stuff that we're going to be talking about in this video and just see how avoidable and preventable a lot of this stuff was. This mission should not have happened in the first place. And then the saddest thing about it is the fact that there was a 19-year-old on board who did not even want to be down there in the first place, really, and only did it because of their father. I'm going to talk about them at the end, closer to the end of the video. Let's talk. So, as many people kind of predicted, or a lot of people were thinking this was the case, right? That this submersible imploded. Experts say the Titan submersible suffered a catastrophic implosion that likely killed everybody on board. They found some debris there. Like I said, kind of figured this was the case, especially because in my previous video talking about this, I remember a previous employee at OceanGate had said that a part of the vessel was only suited to handle pressures at like 1,300 meters, and the Titanic is at like 4,000 meters. So we kind of figured that, you know, it was the pressure. That's so like, that is crazy to even like think about. The water pressure at 12,500 feet or 3,800 meters below the surface at the site of the Titanic wreck is roughly 400 atmospheres or 6,000 pounds per square inch. Jeez. This here is just saying that the Titan passengers probably like all signed waivers to acknowledge the risk. The waiver, which was reviewed by the AP, said that passengers could experience physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, and death while aboard the Titan. Passengers also waived the right to take action for personal injury, property damage, or any other loss that they experience on the trip, the document states. The form also makes it clear that the vessel is experimental and constructed of materials that have not been widely used for manned submersibles. And that's another part of this that is apparently key, and just kind of ridiculous when you're reviewing what happened. This part right here, the deadly implosion of the Titan submersible raises questions about whether the vessel exploring the Titanic wreckage was destined for disaster because of its unconventional design and its creators' refusal to submit to safety checks that are standard in the industry. So they go on to specify two things, right? They talk about how the vessel was constructed and what it was made out of. So they're saying here that this vessel was elongated, and they're just like, if you're gonna have a crew and passengers or whatever, you need to have them in something that has like a sphere, like a cabin that's a sphere, right? Because you got pressure coming from all sides, equally from all sides. They were talking about, you know, the fact that this was made out of carbon fiber. While OceanGate promoted the Titan's carbon fiber and titanium construction as lighter in weight and more efficient to mobilize than other deep diving submersible, experts are saying that that is a shitty ass idea. Like that they said you're not supposed to build it out of carbon fiber at all. Look at this video of the CEO bragging about the fact that he did the shit anyway.
I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And, you know, I've broken some rules to make this. Carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
So from my understanding, it's not like if you build a vessel out of carbon fiber or whatever, or using carbon fiber, and you do an initial test, pressure test on it, it's not like it's going to fail the test the first time. They're saying that like over time, the material will just degrade. And so he was just like, whatever, I'm not doing that shit. I'm gonna be known for breaking the rules. And it's just like, that's crazy, because that's exactly what you're gonna be known for. Like, that's so wild. And it's so eerie too when you consider the original like story of the Titanic and how unsinkable and all that shit. It's just like, it's so weird.
So I actually have real commentary on the submersible stuff now that I've found out that it was made of carbon fiber. If you didn't know, I am a materials physicist. Part of my dissertation was on studying phase changes in carbon under high pressure, and you could not have paid me to get into this thing if I had known that it was made of carbon fiber. We need to compare two different types of strength in a material, the tensile strength and the compressive strength. The tensile strength tells you how much stress you can put a material under as you stretch it before it fractures. The compressive strength tells you how much stress you can put it under as you're squishing it before it fractures. Now, carbon fiber does have large tensile strength, but it does not have large compressive strength. And that is the difference, because at the depths that they were at, the compressive strength is the one that's important. Defects in a material can impact these properties. So beyond the fact that it's very difficult to make an entirely perfect material with no defects, the more and more the sub was used and exposed to these extreme conditions, the more and more defects could have cropped up, meaning that less stress was needed to overcome the compressive strength of the carbon fiber.
And then look at this. Titan sub CEO dismissed safety warnings as baseless cries, emails show. Warnings over the safety of OceanGate's Titan submersible were repeatedly dismissed by the CEO of the company. Email exchanges with a leading deep sea exploration specialist show. In messages seen by the BBC, the CEO was told that he was potentially putting his clients at risk, and he was urged to stop using the sub until it had been certified by an independent agency. But the CEO responded that he was, quote, tired of industry players who tried to use a safety argument to stop innovation. The tense exchange ended after OceanGate's lawyers threatened legal action. Mr. McCollum apparently told the CEO, I think you are potentially placing yourself and your clients in a dangerous dynamic. In 2018, he said this. In your race to Titanic, you are mirroring that famous catch cry, she is unsinkable. In the messages, Mr. Rush, who was among 5 passengers, blah, 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 we know that. He just expressed frustration with the criticism of Titan's safety measures. He said, we have heard the baseless cries of, you are going to kill someone way too often. He said, I take this as a serious personal insult. Wow. He said industry players were trying to stop new entrants from entering their small existing market. He said, I am well qualified to understand the risks and issues associated with a subsea exploration in a new vehicle. That is so like, wow. I mean, warning after warning after warning. This guy's like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't care about the carbon fiber stuff y'all talking about. I don't care about the pressure stuff y'all talking about. We're just gonna do what we're gonna do. And then the ocean did what it did. Like, that's just, girl. Also, an interesting fact, the Navy apparently knew, this has come from NPR, sensors operated by the Navy detected the likely implosion of the Titan submersible hours before the U.S. Coast Guard publicly shared that it had gone missing. A revelation that means a 5-day search that sparked the around-the-clock media coverage that may have been futile from the start. So I guess, I don't know. I saw somewhere that they're like, girl, we ain't talking about what we got or our detection capabilities like that. Like, so I guess they didn't want, I don't know, but that's just weird. It's just like, y'all heard something y'all didn't want to like tell the girls. Like, the Navy was just like, y'all, you literally heard something go pop goes the weasel, and you did not even tell the girls. We searching all over the motherfucker. Like, girl, what's the tea? Like, we already know that it's Black Mirror in this hoe. It's 2023. We already know it's Black Mirror. We already know that y'all can listen to every motherfucking word that we say on this hoe. I mean, y'all, bitch, we got Whitey on the moon. Like, we're not surprised by the capabilities of the fucking U.S. government by now, girl. It's like, this I say, we know we living in the Matrix. We know it's Black Mirror. Why? I don't know why they be like, oh, we gotta be a hush hush. We can't talk about our capabilities. Bitch, everybody know y'all think y'all motherfucking brainiac or something. You know what I mean? Y'all think, you know what I mean? Like, y'all think y'all cyborg in this whole. We know what is going on when it comes to technology in the United States. So when they be hush hush about some shit it's like, girl, if y'all don't release this shit so we can see what the tea is, even for those of us who are just nosy, girl, like what? Girl, the U.S. government be walking around with like Inspector Gadget, and then she be so like shook that we know that she got gadgets. Like, she be so shook that we know that she got her fucking communicator. What's the situation? Like, girl, the U.S. girl, we know that y'all be listening. We know what y'all do. We like, so I don't get what and then it end up leaking anyway. So we know that y'all knew. We know that y'all knew already. That something sounded off. But people were saying that the organizations were handed this data, like the Navy at least let these orgs know that we heard something, girl. So it might have been them, but y'all could keep looking, kind of thing. But the public was just, I mean, I knew that shit imploded, girl. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, that shit imploded. I don't know what to tell y'all. But you know, some of the public was counting down the oxygen. I'm just like, girl, if they don't have no power, oxygen is not the thing they need to be worried about. They need to be worried about the temperature in that hole. How cold as fuck it is down there. So the cold would have got them before the fucking oxygen. Y'all count down the oxygen. Don't count down the oxygen. Listen, oxygen at least they motherfucking worries down in that hole. What the fuck you talking about? So I'm watching the public count down. And meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, girl, this thing done been squished already. And I don't know what's the point of all this. And then come to find out the Navy already knew. It's like, girl, get out my fucking face. Get out my fucking face. Okay, and to me, this is the saddest part of it all. The 19-year-old that was on that vessel did not want to go on it. He was terrified to go on it. In the days before the Titan vessel went into the ocean off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, the 19-year-old university student accompanying his father on the expedition expressed hesitation about going. His aunt said in an interview Thursday, Asmeh Dawood, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, told NBC News that her nephew informed a relative that he wasn't very up for it and he felt terrified about the trip to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. But the 19-year-old ended up going aboard because the trip fell over Father's Day weekend and he was eager to please his dad, who was passionate about the lore of the Titanic. And she was just like, I'm thinking about him, who is 19, in there just perhaps gasping for breath. It's been crippling, to be honest. So, I mean, and there's more with that, like there's more of that interview, but that's just really fucking sad. Nobody should have been going down in that thing at all. The company should be ashamed of themselves, for real. And then now you got this kid who's like, especially if you don't have a lot of autonomy yet. As a college student, you try to please your dad, and it's just like, oh, you going down there, this shit looks shady as hell, but it's Father's Day. And it's just like, oh my goodness. What would really piss me off, especially just me personally, just being in a situation where just like, oh, this motherfucker got me in some fucked up shit yet again. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. The whole situation to me is just like, none of this had to happen. None of this had to happen. And the fact that y'all were, and I'm going to say it again, y'all so rich and y'all so bored, $250,000 a pop to go down there. And then the fact that it's like the story of it is so similar to the lore of the Titanic. It's just, I don't know. Y'all need to find some safer hobbies, something. If you are itching to spend 250 racks, I got some place for you to put it. I mean, my Cash App is Adrian Expression. You can put it there. Like, what are you talking about? 250 racks. If you don't help somebody buy a house and sit your ass down, going to see some some fucked up ass metal at the bottom of the ocean hole. If you bitches don't pay off somebody tuition and sit your ass down. Damn.